Hey, welcome back. So those were both two really good stories. What we're going to do now is we're going to do what's called compare and contrast. So when we compare things, we ask ourselves, what is the same? So you can see with these two socks, they're definitely the same. What is the same about two things? When we contrast, we ask ourselves, what is different? And you can definitely see that this little guy is different than the rest of his friends. And one way that we do that is we can use something called a Venn diagram. You might have seen this before. And a Venn diagram is a tool we can use to compare and contrast. So let's do something that we're all pretty familiar with, an apple and an orange. And the first thing I'm going to do is compare. Compare what is the same. You might think about this too. If you want, you can get out your dry erase board and write your ideas down. So first I'm going to think about what is the same about an apple and an orange. Well, they're both fruit. They're both round. They both grow on trees. So what we just did is we were comparing them. We were just comparing an apple and an orange. Now we're going to do something different. We're going to contrast. We're going to think about what's different between these two. Well, one thing that's different is their color. So this apple is red and green. And guess what color the orange is? Ha! It's orange. And when you bite into an apple, it's kind of crunchy. And when you bite into an orange, it's really more kind of juicy. Another difference is for an apple, you can eat the peel. But for an orange, I don't recommend eating the peel. It's not very tasty. Do not eat the peel. So what we just did here is we were just contrasting them. So compare is what's the same. Contrast is what is different. Okay, so now let's do that with some fairy tales, which is what you're going to do later. I decided to compare Little Red Riding Hood, the Three Little Pigs, and see what's the same about both of them. So I'm going to compare them first, both. Compare means what's the same. And doesn't matter. You can contrast first if you want. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way. In fact, why don't I just do a contrast just to show you the difference? So what's different about them? Well, in this story, the main character is a little girl. She is a girl. And here, the main characters are pigs. That's definitely different because we're contrasting. What else is different? Well, one difference is the girl in this story, she trusts the wolf. Remember, she believes him. And the pigs, do they trust him? Not at all. They're really scared of the wolf. What else is different about these two? There's lots of things that are different. One of the things that I think about is what they were doing in both of them. In Little Red Riding Hood, she was taking goodies, right? She was taking goodies to Granny. And Three Pigs, they were building houses. So those are all things that are different. So we just did contrast. Now let's do compare. What is the same about these two? Well, the first thing that I think of as the beginning, they both start at mom's house, right? They both did. Little Red Riding Hood got the goodies from mom. The three little pigs started with their mom's house and went off on their own. Also, pretty obviously, right? The bad guy, we call the villain, is the wolf in both stories. And they both have the same kind of problem. In both stories, the wolf tries to eat them. And that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do compare and contrast. What you're going to do is on your seesaw assignment, you are going to compare and contrast Little Red Riding Hood, not Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Hen to Mañana Iguana. And you're going to do it on seesaw. And on the outside circles, you're going to write what's different about the stories. And in the middle, you're going to write what's the same. Remember, compare what is the same and contrast what is